Good morning and welcome to Vlogmas day 22. So I'm not anything me-made today. Actually, I never even think of saying what I'm wearing each day. So I'm in this jumper that I absolutely love because it's bright pink. And I got this in TK Maxx a couple of years ago and I got a few quid off it because there was a tiny little hole which I was able to repair. So that was a win-win and I just absolutely love it. And it has survived never having been put into the dryer and I like it so much that I actually hand wash it. I think I have to anyway, I think there's wool in it. But anyway, yeah, that's my jumper. So it's very frosty out this morning and Cerys has gone to school. She has a half day today. They're actually singing at the local nursing home today and I'd love to be able to film it, but we're not allowed. So that's a bit of a shame. And she's going out this evening with some of her friends, and God bless her, she has managed to get a winter cold, so she's sniffling and went off to school today. And yeah, I felt really sorry for her on the last day of school to get a cold. So the first job I have this morning is I put my washing machine on yesterday and it stopped in the middle of a cycle, and that's because I've really limey and kind of, it's not dirty water, but it's gritty water here. So there's a private well. So everybody around here has a well board for their house. So there is village water, but it doesn't come up as far as where we live here. So we've got a well, and we are actually built on very stony, rocky ground. In fact, when we dug for the foundations of the house, we dug up so much stone that we used it on the front of the house. So I live in a townland called Pallas, so that's P-A-L-L-A-S. I'm in the habit of spelling it. And it's where there was originally a castle. So there was Pallas Castle in a couple of fields behind me here. And in whatever year, and I'm just not very good at anything historical, but basically the government brought in rates for buildings, and I'm loosely describing this now, it could be completely wrong, but this is the gist of it. So the government brought in rates for your house, or your whatever. So of course there would have been massive houses around here at the time, and there was Pallas Castle and there was also Pallas Mansion House. So they actually flattened the mansion house because the rates were going to be so high, which is shocking, isn't it? And what they did with all the stone that the house was built out of was they spread it out over the neighbouring fields. So very luckily, this field here had so much of the stone in it. So there's really poor drainage in the ground here. I remember my grandfather, this was my grandfather's field, and my grandfather used to come up here to the cows. And I actually remember as a very small child coming up here with my grandfather. And I have, one of my earliest memories is of my grandfather coming into this field, and it was flooded, and he was going down to feed his cows who had sheltered down in the corner. And as he was walking down, he walked out of his wellies. And my grandfather had a very short fuse. And I do remember as a small child hearing words that I'd never heard before out of him when he had such a temper that he'd actually sunk his wellies into the ground. So it doesn't actually flood anymore, but my back garden there, we rarely get to cut it at the end of the summer because it's, it's starting to get really soggy. But yeah, that story just started from me telling you about my washing machine. So yeah, when we were building the house, when the foundations were being dug, basically, so much stone got dug out of the ground that we used it on the front of the house. And it's actually really nice because there was stone planned for the front of the house, but it was planned to be bought. So yeah, we took it out of the ground. But anyway, as a result of that, we had to bore a well, and the well water is really, really lovely, but it really interferes with the washing machine and the filters. So a number of years ago, my washing machine stopped working and I had no idea what was wrong with it. And it showed up an error code that said a filter, so I cleaned out what I thought was the filter at the bottom of the washing machine, and it didn't work. So I had to call in the washing machine man, who actually, that's Scrappy outside now, scratching at the back door because he insists on being outside and barking today. And now, of course, I have the tumble dryer pulled out in front of the door, so I can't let him in for a minute, so we'll have to bear with the scratching. So the guy who came to fix the washing machine was actually a guy who lived near us when we were kids. So he said, Andrea, I'm going to show you how to fix it because you're going to have to keep getting me up here every couple of months and you can fix it very easily yourself. So I'm going to take out the washing machine and just show you what I do, because maybe other people have this problem and they have to keep asking the engineer to come and fix it, and it's really, really simple to fix. So this is one of those little random tips that I have for you today. So I'll get on with that. So the first thing to do is to locate the tap that turns off the water. There we go. This is your water inlet pipe. So you take that off and hopefully no water will come out. There we go. And there's a little filter in here that needs to come out. And of course I have not brought out my pliers. So you pull out that filter. So that's the little filter, and you can see it's just clogged with like little bits of dirt from the water. It's not even that long since I've done this, so I just have to rinse that out. And I usually use the kitchen brush to give it. And actually, I'm just after thinking, we had a lot of rain recently and that interferes as well with the water a lot. Just show you this now. So that's it, rinsed off. So the water goes through those tiny little holes there, obviously, and they were totally clogged. So henceforth, the machine having a tantrum. So that might help somebody along the way. That cost me, I think it was about 40 quid at the time for the guy to come and fix that for me. And fair play to him for actually showing me how to do it myself. And I've shown a lot of people that in the past, because a lot of people around here, of course, have the same problem with me, with the water basically. So while I have the washing machine pulled out now, I will clean all the filth that's on the floor. And yeah, there we go. And of course, don't forget to turn your water back on as well. And water is running freely now into the washing machine again. So I am going to put the kettle on now and make a cup of coffee, grab all the new fabrics and start taking photographs, because actually it's a really nice morning for light. So I've had a lovely shower this morning. I've washed my hair. I still haven't gotten around to putting a colour in it. But yeah, soon. Do you want a treat, Scrappy? The Queen likes to have hers hand delivered. Lola, where are you? It's Biscuit. You want a biscuit? You want yours hand delivered as well? Oh, Lola loves a biscuit. Is that gone already? This guy doesn't even chew. He doesn't even bite. He just goes straight down in one lump, doesn't it? So I just thought I would bring you out to show you some of the stone that's on the house, actually. And you can hear the cars. We live near a karting track. And you know, I'm so used to it now, just absolutely so used to the noise. I've been really careful on the decking because it's actually so like slippery and slimy. I can't wait to get into the spring and get the power washer out. Absolutely. Oh, I love the power washer. I mean, I make such a mess. I have to shower. I'm covered in so much dirt after the power washing, and it's quite funny because it makes Jason laugh a lot because I'm so messy. I remember when my mother used to paint years ago, she could never hide the fact that she was painting because she would be covered in paint, and I'm kind of like that with the power washer. Jason can power wash in like tidy clothes and doesn't even touch them. I reckon it's because I'm just closer to the ground than he is. So this is the stone. So this is the stone that's on. I'm actually watching now because I haven't been out cleaning up dog poops. The joys of being a dog mammy, isn't it? So this is the side of what I call my big sewing room, so my work sewing room, my Irish dancing sewing room, and this is the stone. So like it's really, really nice. I love all the colours in it, and like it's maintenance free really. It got washed a few years ago when the house got painted, and yeah, it's lovely. And because there was so much stone then, we built walls around the house as well with stone. So yeah, it's really, really nice. That's what the backdrop is to most of the photos of my fabrics on the website. So yeah, walking. I have a fear of falling. Yeah, I'm sure it's an ism, is it? Or yeah, I've always had this fear of falling, so I have a habit of walking kind of tenderly anyway, and it's so slimy. And of course, it doesn't help that it's actually quite frosty this morning. So this is the back garden that gets very soggy, and just the noise, and that's the rest of my granddad's field. So when we moved here originally, there was a big forest down there, and it was actually so nice. It was really, really lovely, but it was a forest belonging to like the state, so they would grow it and then cut it, and they cut it a couple of years after we moved up here, which was quite sad really. And right behind that then is the remains of Palace Castle. So yeah, and that's my brother's over there next door. So we're close, but not in each other's pockets, which is great. So I'm going to get on. Oh God, some farmers after spreading slurry. Oh, the smell of it. It's just hit me. Sometimes it's great to have allergies and have like a clogged head and you can't smell these things. But then all of a sudden, it just wafts. The sweet smell of the countryside. So Keris is home from school and she is feeling a lot better. She's had a little snooze. I had a little snooze myself, hence the kind of weird curl in my hair. Just feel tired. I had a lovely day photographing all the new fabrics, which is great, and I have them all up online now, so I'm absolutely delighted. And it's lovely to walk into my room and see loads and loads of fabrics. So I had a surprise visit today from my lovely friend Tess, just a brief drop off of a Christmas present, and I had to show you the cake she made me. This is just so cute. So it is a chocolate fudge cake and it looks like a Christmas pudding. I just think it's so clever. I'm dying to eat it, but I wanted to leave it in the wrapping until I showed you. So I'm going to take the little wrapper thing off it now just to investigate it. My washing machine has worked perfectly today from the little clean out this morning. Oh, it smells deliciously chocolatey. How cute is that? Oh, and she told me not to delay, that it's chocolate fudge cake and it'll go off if I don't eat it. So, looking forward to having a little slice of that later. And it's funny actually to see the little cherries on the top of it, because I was chatting to my brother last night and we were reminiscing over my mother baking the Christmas cake, and I loved the, what are they, glassy, the artificial cherries. I loved those. So she used to get a pot of those, put them into the cupboard, and I'd go in and eat one, close the cupboard, go back, eat another one. By the time she'd take all the ingredients out for the Christmas cake, there might be one left, because you have to leave one in it, haven't you? And then he loved the, you know, those little like artificial orange and lemon peels. So he loved those, and he loved the dried fruit. So I never really liked dried fruit, but I used to love the cherries. So yeah, God love my mother by the time she made the Christmas cake. And my mother was a great cook, but she wasn't great at baking. She tried and we ate it, but the Christmas cake was always hit and miss. So it could be either overcooked or undercooked. And it was almost like a great unveiling on Christmas Day whether the Christmas cake had been a success or not. And I love a Christmas cake. I haven't actually had a proper fruit Christmas cake since my grandmother died. And it's not that she made it, it's just that she had a friend who used to make her a Christmas cake every year, and she didn't actually like it, but she couldn't tell the friend. And the friend made the most delicious Christmas cake, full of homemade marzipan and icing and lovely decorated. So my grandmother used to get the cake, cut it in half, give me some, and then keep the other half in the house just in case her friend called and she'd have to, you know, take it out and admire it and tell her how much she loved it. So yeah, I used to eat a whole Christmas cake myself because nobody here really likes a Christmas cake either. So yeah, Cerys now is in the shower and she's getting ready for her evening out with her friends. I have to drop her off, and then I think I'm going to come home, put my pyjamas on, and I think I'm going to do some of my rug this evening. So I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.